Hey everybody, it's Ron over here at Becoming Enlightened Together. Apologies, it's always something. I'm doing the best I can, especially during this holiday season as far as getting things posted. There's lots of things going on in my life and so on, just like everybody else, and in particularly this time of the year. But, you know, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I got several, readings to post to try to catch up. I did the readings. That doesn't take much time, but to actually post them and, put them online, that takes a little bit more time. And it wasn't something that I had available. I thought I would, but it didn't pan out that way. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do the overall energy for the week. And it remains the same all week long. Just as a reminder, it's Fehu in the upright. Now, Fehu in the upright is the goddess Freya's rune, and it represents wealth, abundance, success, fertility, just anything along those lines of getting ahead materialistically. It's, like the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles all wrapped up in one if I was to look at it from the, the tarot perspective or whatever. All about abundance. Okay, now the past energy was exactly the same rune, only this time it was in the reverse. And this is Fehu in the reverse. What does that represent? Well, as you might imagine, pretty much the opposite of that. So disappointments and greed, less money, money issues, arguments over finances and so on, losses of property and possessions, repossessions, loss of something that you put an effort into trying to keep, poverty, stupidity. That's one of the words that it means, okay? So I don't mean to laugh at it, but anyway, atrophy, discord, cowardice, poverty, slavery, and bondage. So again, this reading, if you haven't already figured out, is going to be for the karmic cross watcher. In fact, that's what I'm going to call it, basically another reading for the karmic cross watchers, only because it most accurately speaks of what I'm seeing here. All the energy is in the reverse, all of it, all the way down. So our present energy is Nalthis, and Nalthis in the reverse talks about going in the wrong direction, a sense of possessiveness, distress and toil, once again, an inappropriate constraint of freedom, whether it's your own, somebody else is holding you captive, or bondage in some way, shape, or form, which I don't understand. You're free unless you're not free. So unless you're not in chains or shackles or something like that, it's an emotional thing. You can break free. You just choose not to because of the circumstances, repercussions, or whatever, which means you're acting cowardly, which is also part of the energy, I might add. So, drudgery, laxity, having need and necessity, extremes, want, deprivation, stagnation, starvation, poverty, and emotional bondage or hunger. So as you can see, the battle is largely psychological or emotional or spiritual. Okay. Now, in terms of our obstacles and challenges, we have God Tyre's room, but this one too is in the reverse. Now, in the reverse, what it talks about is a journey being blocked. So maybe you have been successful all the way up to this point, and again, as I've already stated, your karma is already starting to kick in. Although you haven't experienced the full brunt of it yet, you're getting enough of it to what makes you question a lot of things. Things are not going smoothly, and no, nobody is doing black magic on you. That was what you yourself were doing to the collective. Now you're getting the repercussions of that. It's boomeranged off the higher resonating and vibrating individuals back onto you. So you're reaping what you have sown, as I've told you multiple times along the way. I've tried to warn at least those who were in earshot or that I know personally that I knew were doing these things. And for the cross watchers out there involved with other people in a similar light, you chose as well to disregard and ignore and to mock, whatever the case may be. And well, here we are, right? So what else does it mean? Well, you having listlessness, questionable motives, living in a sense of injustice where you feel you're being unjustly dealt with, although that's exactly what you were doing for who knows how long to other people just to get something you never had the courage or the audacity to go out there and try to earn on your own. So imbalance, strife, war, conflict, failure in any type of competition currently, dwindling resources, and again, that is the overall message through and through every one of these runes. And not every rune says the same thing, and it has, being that they're in the reverse and all of this, it was exactly the right rune in exactly the right position to echo these sentiments. You're losing a lot of what you have stolen in the past. And as I've stated in other readings that were the more positive energetic readings for the collective, they in turn are getting the blessings. Again, it's the end of a cycle. You're reaping what you've sown. So whether you want to accept it or not, and a lot of those who are in the lower vibration, and I don't mean to be picking on you or anything like that, I'm not rejoicing in the fact that you're going through all of this, although you know, we all need what we need in order to grow. And sometimes people are just refuse to grow on their own. You know, they don't see the lessons for what they are, and they try to fight it and slow it down and what have you. And all they're doing is adding insult to injury or putting salt in the wound. I don't know what else to say. They're like a very immature adolescent, if you will. And they're experiencing, you know, the repercussions of all that. So not only are you having dwindling resources, but your passions are also dwindling. You're having difficulties in communicating your needs, wants, and desires, and you're possibly separating from perhaps a spouse, loved one, family member. It doesn't say specifically, but separation is part of this energy. Now, in terms of our health and advice, we have yet another reversed rune, Ewaz. Now, Ewaz in the reverse stands for, again, long journeys, sudden changes, and timing being just inconvenient. Basically, you're wanting changes, crave changes, in other words, but instead you're getting exactly the opposite. Feeling restless or confined in your current situation, perhaps a sense of reckless haste, acting without thinking first, just responding, mistrust, disharmony, and even betrayal. And finally, the future outcome for the karmic cross watchers is Urus in reverse. Now I have this one tattooed on my chest, only in the upright, and it typically talks about strength, health, vitality, things of that nature, but in the reverse, of course, it's quite the opposite. It talks about a weak will, so not just physical strength, but also, in this case, the strength of one's will or spirit, if you will. In this case, weak spirit, weak will, low energy, illness, missed opportunities, weakness, obsessions, misdirected forces, domination by others, inconsistency and ignorance, brutality, violence, rashness, and callousness. So unfortunately, being that this message again is for the karmic crosswatcher out there looking for their next move to make, or trying to figure out why things are happening the way they are, being that the people that they once trusted have proven to be very unreliable and inaccurate in the things that they were being told. They were taken for a ride, and you allowed yourself to be taken for a ride. What your heart, which was already tainted, wanted to believe, versus seeking the truth, even though it may not be a pleasant truth. Since you decided not to try to discern or discover any truth, well, you were given lies, and now you're suffering the repercussions of those lies. And I don't know what else to say. And again, I'm not relishing in this energy. I don't like getting so much energy that is reflective of the karmic predicament. they need to know what's going on too, and apparently there are people who are, you know, chiming in or looking in who definitely need to hear this for whatever reason. Perhaps some of the, you know, the more positive energies resonating and so on within the collective maybe they need to have a better insight into what's going on to those in their life who are in this particular energy. Either way, I'm just here to read the energy as it is given to me. So uh, I'd rather have all positive readings, but you know, I'm doing exactly what I'm told, what I'm shown. And I know it's not popular, but it is what it is. So to the cross watcher who's in the lower vibrating or karmic energies, uh, you know, you have my prayers. I hope that you see the lessons for what they are and you have the courage and the strength, you know, the integrity to take it for what it is, accept it, and then move on, move forward, learn your lessons, and get yourself out of the hole you dug. Stop blaming everything and everybody around you for your decisions, and then who knows, maybe this energy will change. But until then, again, I wish everybody out there who's listening, karmic or collective, victory. And someday in the future, at least for my collective, we will meet again in Valhalla. Until then, take care. God bless.